Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
On this hour of Eyewitness News, a fiery end to a police pursuit on the city's north side. The link between this crash and a series of armed robberies.
Plus, a holy pilgrimage for hundreds of thousands of people coming to a close in Des Plaines.
Later tonight, the effort at a Chicago Children's Hospital put smiles on faces as kids receive treatments during the holidays.
And all new tonight at 7, a character from a popular children's book is the center of a new series. We're speaking to the Chicago author live.
And then the Golden Globes nominees and the high-profile snubs. Thanks for joining us on this Monday night. I'm Rob Elgis.
And I'm Karen Jordan in for Cheryl. We begin tonight with breaking news. A massive response from first responders tonight in Buffalo Grove. We're told a trench collapsed and a person was trapped. And this is video from about 15 minutes ago.
Chopper 7 HD flying over the area now. Eric Hong joins us live from Buffalo Grove with breaking details on the ground. Eric, what's going on there?
Rob and Karen, we've got a very large first responder presence here in this residential area of Buffalo Grove. And at one point, we're told that a mutual aid call went out asking for assistance from several area fire departments to help in this rescue effort. We've got live picture right now from Chopper 7 high above this scene, this location, where a short time ago, we saw an individual being placed on a stretcher and loaded into an ambulance. And so it appears that the search for that trapped person may be over, but we're still working to confirm that an active rescue effort is no longer taking place. Officials only telling us right now that the Buffalo Grove Fire Department responded late this afternoon or early evening to a report of a trench collapse and a person trapped and unconscious at that site in the 1000 block of Aspen Drive in Buffalo Grove. We saw rescue workers working frantically to try to free that individual, digging in what appears to be the front yard of a home. It's unclear what kind of work was being done at the time, if that trench was being dug or some other type of work was taking place, and perhaps what type of company or utility was doing that work. We continue to work on getting those details, including the condition of the individual who is or was trapped, as well as what caused that trench to collapse. But again, a short time ago, we saw a person being loaded into an ambulance, and so it appears that the search for that trapped individual may be over. The investigation into this incident, however, has just begun. We're live in Buffalo Grove. Eric Hong, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Eric, thank you for the latest. Other headlines: short police pursuit ends in a fiery crash. Look at this, an SUV slamming into the back of a box truck, bursting into flames. Police believe the vehicle connected to a series of recent armed robberies. Trey Ward talked to one of the victims.
That victim thankful to be alive tonight, as neighbors here say they heard that loud crash before seeing fire. Pieces of a fiery crash picked up and towed away tonight after neighbors were left scared in their own homes as police officers swarmed their neighborhood.
The first thing I had heard was a crash, but there's construction right here, so my immediate thought was that it was perhaps the nail gun or something. But then the next thing I heard was the police car go down the alleyway going probably 60 miles an hour.
Chicago police say just after 10:30 this morning, officers located a stolen Hyundai, which they believed was used in a previous armed robbery. While trying to get away, investigators tell us the car hit the back of a streets and sanitation truck that was stopped here at a stop sign at Oakley and Winona. The suspects then tried to get away.
Because we had neighbors who had Ring cameras set up, they were able to see that the individuals were actually hiding in a garage by one of the apartments, so CPD closed in on it and were able to apprehend 4 individuals they believe might be associated with a string of robberies and carjackings in the area.
This comes as police are investigating at least 6 armed robberies that happened overnight.
I just feel like crap.
One of them left Melissa Ozak battered and bruised, recovering in the hospital after she was struck in the head with a gun. Ozak tells me she was leaving a bar with 2 friends near Grace in Albany around 4 this morning when they were attacked and robbed. Ozak was knocked unconscious.
My friends thought that I got shot or whatnot. I was bleeding, so that's when everything was a blur.
Ozak's mother thankful the attack wasn't much worse.
When she comes home, I'm just going to have to beat her up and hug her.
And the victim says that she plans to be released from the hospital sometime today as charges for the 4 suspects are pending. In Ravenswood, I'm Trey Ward, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Trey, thank you so much. Let's take a look at the weather now. Nice, beautiful shot of Chris Kindle Market there in Daly Plaza.
Still have a couple weeks to get there if you want to do some holiday shopping, have some hot chocolate, perhaps. It's good to see you, Karen. I don't think you've been on the 7 since before the holidays, maybe.
It has been a while. Glad to be back.
You're not avoiding us, right?
No.
Okay, just making sure. Because Larry's here. He's talking weather, and it's always great to have you here.
I mean, it has been gloomy lately, though, Larry.
I know. We haven't seen sun in a while.
So depressing, you know. It's nice to get sunshine even just a little bit in parts of the day, but that hasn't been the case for about a week and a half. And I got a lot of cloud cover in the forecast for the rest of this week with some colder temperatures coming in by the time we get to Thursday and Friday. Here's a look at that cloud cover, though, covering much of the upper Midwest, including our area. There's rain developing in the plains and snow back in the Rockies. There's the storm system that's heading in our direction. We'll be on the warmer side of that low. So we get rain, which will start tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, but the northern plains, they'll get heavy snow with blizzard warnings in place for parts of Nebraska, Colorado, and South Dakota. But for us, you can kind of see how this plays out. That low will lift towards Nebraska and eventually into Iowa. For us, we get the rain to roll in tomorrow evening. After the sun goes down, showers will start to push in. Heavier downpours at times with temperatures staying above freezing, and then more rain on Wednesday with temperatures in the 40s. The real cold air gets here Thursday with some snow chances later this week. We'll talk about the timing of that snow all coming up.
All right, Larry, thank you. And updating some breaking news from earlier this evening, a person is now in custody after a deadly shooting outside of a bar on the northwest side. 3 people died. 1 survivor remains in the hospital. Stephanie Wade has more.
1 woman remains in critical condition tonight here at Illinois Masonic Medical Center. I've been speaking with 26-year-old Mariah Vera's family. They tell me she's a fighter, now spending her 26th birthday inside the hospital here. Meanwhile, Chicago police tonight say they have a person of interest in custody after a gunman unleashed on a group of people outside a bar on the city's northwest side who were there celebrating Mariah's birthday. 3 people were killed early Sunday morning, and a 4th person is fighting for her life in the hospital after police say a fight broke out at Vera Lounge. The fight spilling out onto the street near School and North Central Avenue around 2:30 a.m. on the northwest side. Someone fired shots, police say, then left in a dark SUV. 50-year-old Ricky Vera, 26-year-old Mario Pozuelos, and 24-year-old Mercedes Tavares were killed. Vera's 25-year-old daughter, family tell me, was shot in the head and undergoing surgery in the hospital.
It was definitely chaotic. At first, a little bit of shock, confusion. We didn't really know what was going on.
Comedian Daniel Joselito Burgo performed at a show in Rosemont earlier that night and was there at Vera Lounge when gunfire rang out.
They had just turned on the lights for last call. So as everybody was walking out, shots let off and everybody ran back in. So like I said, that girl that got shot ran back in, and then everybody got kind of nervous because we wasn't sure if the shooter was coming in as well. So people started ducking under tables.
Surveillance video shows people sprinting down Central Avenue after shots were fired.
Just feel bad for the families because it's an emotional thing, and in 1 second everyone's laughing, taking pictures, everyone's having a good time. And then in 1 split second, everyone's screaming, going crazy. It was just crazy.
Again, police saying tonight 1 person of interest is now in custody and being questioned by detectives, while 3 families are now mourning the loss of their loved ones. Outside the Illinois Masonic Medical Center, Stephanie Wade, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Charges are filed in a police shooting that ended with a Chicago police officer getting stabbed and the suspect shot. It happened Saturday night in Roseland. Police say officers responded to a home where Romaine Heath was holding a woman hostage with a knife. Officers were able to get the woman out safely, but police say Heath lunged at police with the knife, and he remains in the hospital. The officer has been released.
A Chicago man's been arrested and charged with murder for allegedly killing a man and a 15-year-old girl. 18-year-old Edwin Lagoon is facing several charges. Police say he shot Ruby Navarrete and Leonard Hawkins to death during a party last month in Austin. A 3rd person was also hurt.
The FBI is investigating after an armored vehicle was robbed at gunpoint in Oak Park. It happened around 9 this morning outside the Chase Bank at Clinton and Madison. Investigators say 3 men approached the vehicle and demanded money. At least one suspect had a gun. A passenger in the armored truck was injured but is expected to be okay. There's no word yet on any arrests.
The survivors of gun violence are asking state lawmakers to ban assault weapons. They shared their stories today. Sarah Schulte recaps their emotional testimony.
Tina Patterson is from East Garfield Park. Lauren Bennett from Highland Park. Both women are recovering from gunshot wounds they received during mass shootings.
Imagine a hot metal dart-like projectile tearing through your body at supersonic speed, faster than the speed of sound. You'll feel it burn through your skin.
Bennett was shot twice during the Highland Park July 4th shooting. A legally bought assault rifle produced 85 rounds in less than a minute. Had one of the bullets been a centimeter deeper, Bennett would have died.
We ran through bullets darting all around us in every direction. We ran around and over pools of blood that engulfed the unfortunate people who would not be going home to their families that day.
And Tina Patterson ran through bullets when her leg was shattered by one during a Halloween mass shooting in East Garfield Park.
The bullet hole in my leg was so large, it broke a bone, it hit a nerve. The doctor said close to my artery, a little more I wouldn't even be here.
Patterson, Bennett, and several other mothers of children who were killed by gun violence came together to urge state lawmakers to pass proposed legislation that would ban assault weapons in high-capacity magazines in Illinois.
Why do we need weapons of mass destruction on the street? Why do they have to be sold?
Lawmakers supporting the ban say they must act with urgency. But as one mother who lost her only child to a random Southside shooting pointed out, it should not have taken the Highland Park shooting to finally act.
There were 10 in this city, 10 black kids that were shot and killed that day.
The sponsors of the bill say their goal is to get it passed by January 10th. If they are successful, Illinois will become the 9th state and the District of Columbia to pass an assault weapons ban. In the Loop, Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The public memorial service for Buffalo Grove mother and her 2 young daughters will take place on Friday. Police say Vera Kislyak and her daughters Vivian and Amelia were killed by her estranged husband. Their bodies were found inside their home on November 30th. Friday's service will take place at the Community Arts Center in Buffalo Grove, starting at 12:30 p.m.
Independent review says the Uvalde County, Texas Sheriff's Department did not have an active shooter policy in place when the mass school shooting happened. This report comes more than 6 months after the shooting at Robb Elementary that left 21 people dead. Texas law does not require law enforcement agencies have an active shooter policy, but the Sheriff's Department now has one in place.
A heartbreaking update on Chicago's so-called walking man. Months after 75-year-old Joseph Cromelis was set on fire, the medical examiner says that he passed away. He earned the nickname the Walking Man because he was often seen roaming the downtown area on foot. In May, he was critically injured, set on fire as he slept at Kinsey and Lower Wabash. Joseph Guardia was charged with attempted murder and arson.
Several students at York High School in Elmhurst now face disciplinary action after cell phone video surfaced showing them allegedly bullying a student with special needs. The video, which we are not airing due to its troubling nature, shows the boy getting knocked to the floor in a school bathroom and being verbally attacked. The school officials say the students were questioned and punished on Friday. The Elmhurst Police Department has also opened an investigation into this case. The school's superintendent releasing today a statement saying in part, quote, the York administration will be engaging with the student body to further reiterate our values of helping all students feel a sense of purpose and belonging.
A show of support today for Chicago police officer paralyzed in an off-duty shooting. Fellow officers gathered in court to support Officer Danny Golden. A judge today denied a motion to reduce bail for Justin Chrismandis. He's one of 3 men charged with shooting Officer Golden back in June while the officer tried to break up a fight outside of a bar in Beverly. All 3 men charged in this case are due back in court in January.
The Chicago's 12th ward will soon have a new alderman. Mayor Lightfoot announcing Annabella Barca as her pick to represent the ward on the city's southwest side. She's a Chicago native who recently worked as chief of staff for former 12th ward alderman George Cardenas, who stepped down last month.
With the Chicago mayoral election approaching, candidates are trying to knock one another off the February ballot. 2 candidates in particular are going after one another. Political reporter Craig Wall shares the claims and the counterclaims.
This matter is an objection to the nomination papers for a mayoral candidate, Mr. Green.
Jamal Green playing defense and offense today in the game of mayoral campaign politics as he fights to ward off a petition challenge from Willie Wilson's team.
The objectors Kevin Hobby and the candidate is Willie Wilson.
A second hearing also beginning today involving a member of Green's campaign, Kevin Hobby, sitting next to him, who is challenging the signature petitions that were filed by Wilson alleging a pattern of fraud.
A cursory glance at the nomination papers of Mr. Wilson will demonstrate that several hundred, if not thousands of pages are clearly written in the same handwriting by the same person. So that's a big part of the pattern of fraud.
The finger pointed at Wilson ally Ricky Hendon, who is in charge of collecting signatures. He did not attend the hearings, but his attorney disputes the fraud allegations and says it's Green whose petitions won't survive the challenge.
Ricky's been doing this for many, many years. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He was down at the board, he looked at the signatures, he reviewed the registrations, and there were insufficient signatures there.
Also part of the simmering feud between the campaigns, allegations Hendon called Hobby and tried to bribe him to drop his challenge against Wilson's petitions.
That was the call. That happened, and there needs to be an investigation, whether by the U.S. Attorney, the Board of Elections.
There is no bribery, first of all. There is no bribery at all. And it's all a sideshow, it's all just for theatrics, and it's all irrelevant.
Wilson's team also challenging the petition signatures of Alderman Rod Sawyer. 2 other candidates, Frederick Collins and Johnny LaGalbo, are also being challenged. We'll know the outcome in the next couple of weeks. Back to you.
Craig Wall, thanks for the report. Federal prosecutors in Washington will not pursue the death penalty for accused Lockerbie bomb maker Abu Aguila Massoud. Massoud made an initial appearance before a federal magistrate in Washington, D.C. today. He was taken into U.S. custody over the weekend. Massoud is the 3rd individual charged in connection with the 1988 downing of Pan Am 103, but the first to appear in an American courtroom. 270 people died, 190 of them American, when that plane exploded in midair and plunged into the Scottish town of Lockerbie.
Brittany Griner is on the road to recovery. The WNBA star is back to playing some basketball. She reportedly did a light workout at a Texas military base where she's undergoing treatment and even pulled off a dunk. Photos released over the weekend show Griner alongside her wife Sherelle and top U.S. hostage negotiator Ambassador Roger Carstens, who brought her home from Russia. He is defending the prisoner swap deal and vowing to bring home other Americans wrongfully detained overseas.
Independent autopsy planned in New York City on the sports journalist who died while covering the World Cup in Qatar. Grant Wall died Saturday after collapsing in the press box during a game. World Cup organizers say Wall received immediate medical care at the stadium and while on the way to a hospital. Earlier, Wall told his podcast audience that he had bronchitis and tested negative for COVID.
Back home in Chicago, the city's planning agency has approved zoning for the proposed Bally's Casino at Chicago Avenue and Halsted Street. The $1.7 billion project includes a 500-room hotel, a 3,000-seat theater and event center, and a riverwalk. The panel's recommendation, approved with a 12-to-1 vote, now goes to City Council for final review. But Bally's still needs approval from the Illinois Gaming Board to operate in Chicago. The casino is expected to open in 2026.
Right now, Mass is underway to wrap up the celebration at the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. You're looking live at Des Plaines this evening. Hundreds of thousands of Catholics have made the pilgrimage to worship. Our Kate Kogirin reports on this event, which is a holy experience for many.
As we speak, people are gathering for the final Mass of this 2-day holy celebration that drew in thousands from all across the country.
Tonight, the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe is getting ready to come to a close. Bouquets of flowers brought in by pilgrims now competing for what little space is left after thousands of faithful flock to the shrine off North River near Central Road in Des Plaines.
It is a nice experience. It's wonderful. It's a lot of people here. It's my first time here, and it's very nice.
Day 2 of the Holy Homage was celebrated throughout multiple masses, thousands arriving by bus, car, or foot.
It's hard to explain. Like when I'm here, it's just everything goes away, every problem that I have. And it's just a moment of silence for myself.
All to offer their thanks, prayers, and wishes for the year ahead.
How much the Virgin had done for me. So for me, it's like a blessing. Just to be here.
Every year, the feast attracts hundreds of thousands of people to the Des Plaines Shrine to celebrate the Virgin Mary, who Catholics believe appeared to St. Juan Diego in Mexico City on this day in 1531. The shrine's observance is the largest gathering of pilgrims celebrating Our Lady of Guadalupe in the United States. In Des Plaines, Kate Kogirin, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Making the holidays brighter for kids in the hospital. The special event today making Chicago proud.
First, the snowstorm out west that was too much even for ski resorts to handle. Look at that.
Whoa.
Eesh.
On the West Coast, snow is causing major problems in the mountains of Northern California. Sheriff's deputies in Tahoe City showing the snow-covered roads.
Just semis stuck up on the highway, and we can't get anywhere. We just wanted to hit the slopes.
The conditions caused ski resorts to close as it was too dangerous to use many of the chairlifts. Look at this, 60-mile-per-hour winds.
That's a lot of snow and wind. On the East Coast, Police K-9 helping with some snow cleanup. The dog works for the Essex Police Department in Vermont, though officers joke Nova was ready for a new job with public works shoveling snow. I think Nova's is interested in the shovel.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, well, I'm taking this.
What a good dog. Look at that.
Yeah, but that's doing some work right there.
Get Nova some treats for sure.
Right. The dog, dogs love the snow.
They do.
I think so.
They do, especially the first one of the season. And it's not looking like snow anytime soon, but my goodness, it's certainly not looking like we're going to see sun either.
It's been a long time, Larry, since we've had like a full week. And we had a stretch, remember, it seemed like we had a stretch of nothing but sunshine. I remember that 7-day forecast was just all blue behind it.
Yeah,
and
November wasn't too bad.
Right.
December started okay a couple of days. Now we're socked in cloud cover, and we're going to see those clouds stick around. I will argue my dog doesn't like the snow. She doesn't like it. She'll go outside and just do
Rosie
business.
doesn't like it?
She doesn't, huh? She's in and out in a hurry to go potty. Yeah.
She's got lab in her.
She does, and I know she doesn't like it. She likes to sleep in a warm blanket, and that's
or
our
your
dog.
lap.
My kind of dog.
Yeah, I know. It's our kind of the dog too. Hey, let's talk about this midweek storm though, because it's going to roll in starting tomorrow evening is when the messy weather really starts to affect us. And it's going to be in the form of rain. So rain will begin tomorrow evening, continue tomorrow night, all through the day on Wednesday. Wednesday's just going to be a raw, wet day. Temperatures in the 40s, gusty winds. Those winds will pick up to maybe as high as 40 miles per hour during the day on Wednesday. They'll actually pick up a little bit tomorrow, but Wednesday is going to be the windiest of the days ahead for us. And then Friday and this weekend, high temperatures, mostly below freezing for high temperatures, with some scattered snow showers starting Thursday, Friday, and also into Saturday. So some much colder weather's coming our way after being relatively mild for the past few days. And I say relatively mild because our high temperatures have been in the low 40s, which is above average, just doesn't feel above average because of all the cloud cover. And it's still cloudy right now with a temperature of 39 degrees. Winds are out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour. Down to 38 in Aurora, still 40 at Joliet, 37 in Gary, and 39 right now in Waukegan. A lot of cloud cover for us. The clouds will stick around tonight, but I think we'll get a few breaks in those clouds during the day tomorrow. Here's our storm system just now organizing. This is the leading edge of that storm. The actual upper level low is still back over the Four Corners area. We've got winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings, winter weather advisories in place here across the northern plains. For us though, we're going to be on the warmer side of this system, so we'll get rain. That's where the severe weather will be tomorrow. For us though, we've got temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s at the moment. We'll get into some of that milder air as we head into Wednesday. But overnight tonight, temperatures drop into the mid to low 30s, mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. Then the rain gets here tomorrow evening. There's 6:30, here's 8 o'clock, there's 10:30 in the evening. These pockets of heavy rain will slide through tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Can't even rule out a clap of thunder. Temperatures though on Wednesday will climb into the mid to upper 40s with occasional rain coming through. At times it'll be heavy, but it'll be mostly light rain and drizzle through the day on Wednesday. But in total, we're looking at a really good soaking of rain, anywhere from a ½ inch to up to an inch of rainfall starting tomorrow night through the day on Wednesday. And those winds will pick up too. Tomorrow we'll get gusts above 30 miles per hour, and there you can see gusts above 40 miles per hour, mainly early in the morning on Wednesday. The forecast for tomorrow, some peaks of sunshine, temperatures in the low 40s, mostly cloudy skies with that rain arriving later in the evening. Today we had a high of 42, again above average, 37 is the average high, our low this morning, 35. So tonight, back into the mid to low 30s, cloudy skies. Tomorrow will stay mostly cloudy with that rain late. It'll turn breezy with a high of 42. Rainy and windy on Wednesday with a high of 48. Then we're at 38 on Thursday, and temperatures stay pretty cold for Friday and the weekend. Only upper 20s Saturday and Sunday. And here are some snow chances Friday and Saturday. Don't think we'll see much in the way of accumulation, but there's the chance we might see a dusting, maybe a little bit more at times Friday and Saturday.
White Christmas still possible. All right, thanks, Larry.
I'll talk about that in the next half hour.
Oh, okay. We'll see you then. Taking patients' minds off therapies and letting them enjoy the holidays.
A special effort at La Rabida Children's Hospital is making Chicago proud. Ravi Baichwal shows how kids are getting into the holiday spirit.
Yeah, this is Miss Lily. It's the holidays at La Rabida Children's Hospital on the south side, and the excitement of creating one's own gifts fills the outpatient corridors.
Mommy, look what I'm getting. Yes, her name's Lily.
This institution by the lake treats interdisciplinary conditions in children primarily from the south and west sides of Chicago. 90% are Medicare enrollees, and holding holiday events for those facing lengthy stays here is critical to creating normalcy.
It's the holiday, so we want to make sure that they have more than what they need.
Now, what we're going to have Lily? Lily going with love, friendship.
Sometimes that, we get overlooked, so we want to make sure and put the spotlight on this population in this neighborhood, this hospital, so that everyone feels supported.
Mulan & Company sponsored much of the gift giving today, and the bear manufacturing was coordinated by Cook County Commissioner Bill Lowry.
It's the holidays, and of course we want to bring in that Christmas spirit, that Christmas joy, and just being able to be some type of support to the children who are, missing out on families.
The belief here, that spirit helps clinical outcomes.
We had a little boy today who is getting intensive inpatient rehab, and he came down to build a stuffed animal, and you have to press your foot on a lever to get the stuffing to get into the animal. So it was almost like it was part of his therapy.
Thank you. Thank you.
The original buildings for La Rabida Hospital were actually built by the Spanish government for the 1893 World's Exposition here in Chicago. After that, they donated the buildings to the city to serve as a center for children's health. Nowadays, some 9,000 kids come through here every year for complex care. And we can say that 100% of them, at least today, are excited that the holidays are just around the corner. On the south side, Ravi Baichwal, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
How about it?
That's awesome. They have a brand new Christmas present.
Yeah,
that they made
themselves. They made it themselves, and maybe some of them didn't even know this was going to happen today. And you go down there and get to make, I mean, making anything of your own as a kid is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was telling you as we were watching, this more than just bears now, huh?
No, you can stuff dogs, you can get all sorts of other animals. And
saw a reindeer there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'm surprised Ravi didn't try and make one. That would have been fun.
Like a maple leaf, a Canadian maple
That's right, a big old leaf. It looked like a lot of fun. I'm glad those kids had a great time. Or a hockey stick, maybe.
Yeah.
Something. Items from Twitter's headquarters are heading for the auction block. Maybe this is something you want to bid on.
Oh,
I don't
my.
know.
Well, plus, if you filled up the car this weekend, you may have noticed the lower gas prices. Just how far they've dropped ahead. Breaking news, the founder of cryptocurrency company FTX has been arrested in the Bahamas. Charges have been filed against Sam Bankman-Fried. Those are expected to be unsealed tomorrow. Sources tell ABC News that he's facing a multiple count fraud indictment. FTX was one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world until last month, when the company filed for bankruptcy.
A warning tonight from the ABC7 I-team.
Holiday check washers are targeting your checks to family and friends and merchants this holiday season. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles has the tips to outsmart the thieves.
Hi everybody, here's a quick tip as you're paying bills or sending checks as gifts this holiday season. The BBB is alerting consumers after seeing a growing trend in what's known as check washing. Scammers can take you to the cleaners by washing checks in a simple bath of household chemicals to erase the original name and dollar amount written on the check. Victims often have no idea there is a problem until someone they sent a check to indicates the check was never received, or they see a check written to a stranger with a higher dollar amount. So the BBB says it is a reminder to regularly check your bank accounts. Use a pen that contains indelible black gel ink to write your checks. This type of ink cannot be washed away. Bring your checks directly to the post office. Don't put them in your mailbox or a blue mailbox, which can be targeted by thieves. And get your incoming mail right away. Also, you can pay your bills online instead. Jason Knowles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you. Twitter once again launching a subscription service. The company's previous attempt failed once people signed up with imposter accounts. Starting today, Twitter says people will be able to buy subscriptions to Twitter Blue. Users then get a blue check mark and access to special features. Businesses will now get a gold check mark. Some more news from Twitter. The company's auctioning off dozens of items from its San Francisco headquarters. That includes that giant statue of the Twitter bird and this big planter shaped like the @ symbol. I mean, people probably buy this, right? Auction kicks off January 17th through Heritage Global Partners.
Well, more people are planning to make trips this upcoming holiday season. AAA says close to 6 million Illinois drivers will travel 50 miles or more, and that's up 213,000 travelers over last year. Tuesday, December 27th is predicted to be the busiest on the roads. Also, the Friday before Christmas, December 28th, and January 2nd will likely be high travel days. Gas prices are falling across the country. The national average is now $3.26 a gallon, according to AAA, and that's down 14 cents from a week ago. Here in Illinois, the average is $3.45 a gallon, and that's down 19 cents from the average a week ago.
Electric vehicle maker based here in Illinois, Rivian, is no longer pursuing a deal with Mercedes. The two companies had previously announced a plan to build electric vans for businesses in Europe. Rivian's now saying it needs to be strategic about its investments, adding it may still collaborate with Mercedes in the future. That surprised some people today.
Yeah,
They were thinking.
I knew you were following this.
Yeah,
I'm
well, we
sure.
went to the Rivian plant months ago to get a look at the truck they were making, and now they're making the the SUV, and we saw those Amazon vans, which are pretty incredible, the electric vans. So this was the next step, some thought, into going global with Mercedes, who knows how to make vehicles, right? And it's on hold now. So
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Kids get surprised with early holiday gifts.
Well, coming up next, meet the man making Chicago proud for his efforts to help kids.
Plus the new kids book about dinosaurs, written by an expert at the Field Museum. Making Chicago proud, dozens of kids getting surprised with gifts and dinner downtown. Kids, all members of the Union League Boys and Girls Club, one in Pilsen. The club's senior vice president made it his mission to help kids.
Our race and culture reporter Will Jones spoke to Hector Perez before today's giveaway.
Hector Perez is getting ready to welcome Santa and dozens of kids from Pilsen for a Christmas surprise.
It is huge to be able to see the kids' faces.
In many of the kids involved with the Union League Boys and Girls Clubs, Perez sees himself. He started off as a club kid in 1981 after his mother moved the family to Humboldt Park from Puerto Rico.
My family needed the support and my mom couldn't do much for us, and so they took us under their wing.
Perez has risen through the ranks of the Union League Boys and Girls Clubs over the past 38 years. He's now the senior vice president, responsible for 21 club locations that serve over 15,000 kids a year.
I actually found my purpose in life, and someone did it for me. Someone saved my life.
Many of the staff members are alums of the organization, including the president and CEO.
So I know the impact that when you're a youth and then you're a staff member, the impact that you make because you remember what a staff member did for you.
It wasn't the plan for Perez, but he's glad his life turned out this way.
Would have never dreamed of coming to downtown and be able to be in the position that I'm in.
Helping young people unwrap their potential to share their gifts with their community. Will Jones, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
That's awesome. And they'll probably be, it's relatable, as she mentioned, right? Because you can say to those kids, I was you.
Wow.
And then those kids go on to great success, and then they'll remember you and say that to another, and it just keeps
Yeah, it's
repeating.
really powerful just trying to relate to kids. And
it's hard. It can be hard, and he makes it look easy. Wow. This is relatable, and I'm an adult. Stuck in a kid's body. The dinosaur curator at the Field Museum has a new children's book. It's called When Dinosaurs Conquered the Skies. And today, Jingmai O'Connor talked to visitors about writing a science book for kids. Also shared details on how birds evolved and brought out some fossils from the museum's behind-the-scenes collection. You don't see those often. The book is aimed at kids between the ages of 8 and 12 or 48. If you're on this show, it doesn't matter.
No, that's true. But you know, that's actually good to know because my daughter, who is 10, she's right in that age group. She loves pterodactyls.
Yes,
so
okay.
Right there.
We have dinosaur discussions often on this show. We talk about the T-Rex, Lee's big friend. They're studying the arms. I don't know if you saw that story, right? They're going to study the little tiny arms to figure out what they do. We don't need to get on what they do, Lee. But he likes the T-Rex. Viv likes the pterodactyl. Do you have a favorite?
I do. I like the brontosaurus.
Yes. Okay. But I like the Triceratops.
Oh, okay.
But the Brontosaurus, a veggie eater, so just had that big long neck and tried to stay away, from the T-Rex and its terrifying arms that would rip things apart. So that's a good one. I like that. It's the big one.
It is.
The big one, yeah. We're gonna have to ask Larry what his favorite was.
The raptor.
The Velociraptor. Oh, they're so mean. Is that because there's a Jurassic Park?
It was the only other one I could think of other than what you guys had said.
Well, you could pick the same one. Right. He's right away, he's like Velociraptor. Yeah. Those were pretty cool, and the kids loved those too.
They do.
After that movie, because little action figures, and then they come up to the Brontosaurus, and then they're fighting, and then it's bad. So we all have our favorites. Yeah, we're fun.
Well, a local author wants to make sure children of color are featured in books, and her newest creation is about to come out. We're talking to Natasha Anastasia Tarpley live next. Let's check in with Larry first.
Well, temperatures tomorrow are going to be back in the low 40s just like today. I do think we'll get a few peaks of sunshine, especially in the morning, but then rain settles in tomorrow evening, and we got a wet day on Wednesday. It'll be windy too with a high of 48. Turns colder on Thursday with some flurries around, and even colder as we head into the weekend. Talk about your forecast coming up.
It's been a fan favorite for years, celebrating black hair and beauty. And the book, I Love My Hair, recently celebrated its 20th anniversary in print.
Now there's a new book featuring the main character, and it's called Kiana Loves Her Family, and it goes on sale tomorrow. And Chicago author Natasha Anastasia Tarpley joins us tonight. It's great to see you. How are you?
Great, thanks for having me.
What took so long?
Well, I wrote a lot of stuff in between.
Right, I know, just a few things you did.
Right, a few things in between.
Right, but so why the decision to come back to a fan favorite and just a book that affected so many people to now be like, let's do it again?
Well, that's exactly it. This book has been such an important part of so many families and children's lives that I wanted to give that character who, in I Love My Hair, is talking about her hair, but also is really exhibiting this curiosity and imagination. And I wanted to bring that front and center. And we wanted to release this character with a whole new look. So you'll see that she looks a little bit different, but that whole spirit of exuberance and joy is very much a part of who she is in this new series, Kiana series.
And you know, your books definitely are, I would say, a staple in a lot of Black families. I have Bibbidi Bop Barbershop on my son's bookshelf, which is amazing. But about Kiana, what is it that makes her a great role model for children?
Well, Kiana, as I said, she's very imaginative, she's curious, she's exuberant, and she's got a lot of big ideas. And I think a lot of times our children feel as though, you know, they have to do things right. Everything has to be perfect. And so in this series, I really want kids to feel a sense of freedom to explore their big ideas, no matter how weird or crazy they might seem. And also to have a sense of perseverance, though. If something doesn't work out the first time, you know, there are lots of ways to succeed. So that's pretty much the underlying message of this this new series.
Can you talk a little bit about, I saw the cover, so she's older, obviously, right? Her daughter looks adorable. It looks like she has a daughter and son. Can you give us a little idea of what's inside?
Well, inside, Kiana her big idea for this book is that she is planning a fabulous backyard movie soiree. So it's essentially a family movie night. And she's got all of these wonderful ideas that everything's going to be perfect. And she's invited her entire extended family. So this is a book that also features not just her parents and her brother, but her entire extended family, including aunts, cousins, uncles. And so it was an opportunity to showcase a Black family in that way as well. And so I won't give too much away, but Kiana's movie night doesn't go exactly as planned. And you'll have to read it to find out how she makes it even more spectacular than she originally imagined.
Ooh, I love that. It sounds like it's a lesson in trying to just roll with the punches there. That'll be really great to read. But while I have you, I'm so excited to talk to you. Speaking about I Love My Hair, 20 years already. And of course, in that time, we've seen the Crown Act enacted. Can you have you gotten feedback from families, especially, you know, mothers of young girls? Do you think this book has helped empower them? You know, what are you hearing?
I hear that all the time, and it's such an honor to have been or to have created a book that has been such an important part of so many people's lives. I go out, I've been stopped in the store, and people have come up to me and said, you know, I didn't like my hair, and when I was a kid, this book helped me to love my hair. And so that there are really no words for that. It's just such an honor. I hope that there's less of a need for these kinds of books as we go forward, and that we begin to just instill that sense of acceptance and joy in who we are, so that we don't have to be reminded to love our hair. It'll just be an essential part of who we are.
Wonderful. Oh, so excited to talk to you. And Kiana Loves Her Family, the new book coming out.
Goes on sale tomorrow, right? Real quick, where can people find it? Can we get it in time for Christmas?
I would check out your local independent bookstore. If they don't have it, please ask for it and support these stores. And of course, the online outlets should have it as well.
And Natasha Anastasia Tarpley, it really is a true honor to talk to you, and the impact you've made, as Karen alluded to, for so many people, particularly young women in this country. It's fantastic. And for you to spend some time with us, it's pretty special.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
And good luck.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excited. Oh, wow. How cool is that? I'm going to have to put that on my
On your
checklist.
list.
Yes.
The question you asked is so important, right?
Absolutely.
In 20 years, the changes we've seen in America, and that book 20 years ago was not like today. It's not 2022.
Right.
And
it was a very empowering statement, and it was kind of a daring statement 20 years ago, and now it's just a nice affirmation of yourself. You know?
As it should be, always. And you know, but need to get a sequel or a follow-up to it.
Oh, maybe.
And maybe more. She kept saying series. I didn't want to say, what do we really have this thing? But it's pretty neat. So you got one for the, what was the other one that you said you had on the shelf already?
Bippity Bop Barbershop.
Remember that?
So cute, yeah.
It was good. I'm glad you could spend some time with us. So hopefully you can get it. If you need to get that book for the holidays, good luck.
Yeah.
Nominations are out for the Golden Globes.
The top TV shows and films to get nominations and the notable snubs that have people talking.
Plus Janet Jackson heading on tour. It's coming to the Chicago suburbs.
Through 19 are dead. Larry, you're dead.
Today, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association unveiled this year's Golden Globes nominees.
I've got a lot of movies I need to watch. My goodness, the awards are back in the spotlight after Scandal knocked the show off television for a year. The most nominated film in the black comedy is The Banshees of Inisherin. It has 8 nominations, including nominations for many of the actors. And coming in second with 6 nominations, the existential action comedy Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
I definitely have to get my list going. Brendan Fraser is nominated for his role in The Whale. A lot of people were watching that because Fraser has publicly said he will not attend the ceremony after he was groped by the former president of the HFPA back in 2003. And a few notable snubs. While Top Gun Maverick received nominations, leading actor Tom Cruise was not nominated for his performance. And Will Smith, not nominated for his role in Emancipation. Many entertainment journalists are speculating Hollywood is not ready to move past that infamous Oscar slap earlier this year.
Remember, the Golden Globes also honor TV shows. The ABC comedy Abbott Elementary leading the way there with 5 nominations. The Crown, Dahmer Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, Only Murders in the Building, Pam and Tommy, and White Lotus all had 4 nominations. So some of them have been in select theaters, right? So that's why we can't see, back to the movies, not the TV shows. That's why I haven't been able to see some of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I thought Avatar was also possibly nominated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Michelle said, yeah.
Has that
And The
been
Whale, it's not been released. I think it's Friday it's released.
Okay.
And The Whale was released overseas. I don't know if it's showing yet in select theaters here.
Oh, I see.
That was when they put on like a huge suit on Brendan Fraser, and everybody said right away that he is like a shoo-in for a nomination for an Oscar and probably a win.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, also interesting, together again, Janet Jackson announcing today she is going on tour. And yes, there is a stop in our area. Jackson will perform at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in Tinley Park on Saturday, May 27th. Ludacris will be the opening act. Tickets go on sale Friday morning. Jackson also telling some fans today she will be performing new music at her shows. However, she didn't say when a new album may drop.
This seems like a prelude to that.
Oh,
right?
I think so.
So she'll be here. It's time. Wow, the show flew by.
Oh, wow.
6 minutes to go. Larry's here for a last look at your forecast. And I believe you were talking about White Christmas we were suggesting, right? Or you were going to discuss that?
I was going to talk about it. But I tell you, the week leading up to Christmas is looking really cold. And here's why. This is the outlook for temperatures from December 19th through December 25th, through Christmas Day. It shows almost a near 100% chance of below average temperatures for us for this time frame. So that means highs would be below freezing. And if we get a little precipitation, a little bit of snow during that time frame, it would likely stick around all the way through Christmas Day. Now we're outlook for slightly drier than average conditions during that same time frame. But again, it won't take much to put a little coating of snow on the ground, and with temperatures below average, I would expect that snow to stick around. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it is looking certainly more promising for a white Christmas than in years past because of this colder air coming our way. And just to kind of illustrate how cold this air is going to be, tomorrow we're going to be in the low 40s, 40s again on Wednesday, a little colder on Thursday, but the next 3 days will be above average. After that, we're below average with highs in the 20s this weekend and highs maybe only in the teens by the time we get to next Thursday. So you see the trend here is for colder weather to arrive this weekend and stick around for next week. But this week we got a storm to talk about first. This area of low pressure back over the Four Corners area will track in our direction and produce some very heavy snow across the northern plains. We're going to be on the warmer side of this system, so we get rain. That rain will settle in tomorrow evening. So tomorrow morning we'll start off dry. And if you look at Futurecast, you can actually see some holes in the clouds. It's possible we get a few peaks of sunshine during the morning before the clouds fill back in. And then here comes the rain, and the rain will settle in tomorrow evening and stick around through the day on Wednesday. Wednesday morning, some light rain still falling. Rain will continue off and on through the day on Wednesday and maybe get a little bit heavier again for Wednesday night as we still continue with the rain. How much do we get? Well, anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall looks like a possibility for us. And the winds will pick up too. Starting tomorrow in the afternoon and evening, we'll get gusts above 30 miles per hour. And then Wednesday morning, some gusts above 40 miles per hour. So quite windy with this rain coming our way. Tomorrow, peaks of sunshine, temperatures in the low 40s with the rain chances increasing in the evening. And you can really see how this storm wraps up here across parts of Nebraska during the day tomorrow. Again, we're on the warmer side. Look at all that snow back to our west. This low will merge with another area of low pressure and then kind of stall out just to our north, which will keep the colder air spilling in around this. And there will be occasional snow showers for Thursday, Friday, and even into Saturday with temperatures turning colder. Some of that snow may stick by the time we get to the weekend. Tonight, though, mid to low 30s under cloudy skies. Tomorrow we'll see a high of 42 with rain late. Rainy and windy on Wednesday, colder Thursday, much colder this weekend with those highs in the 20s and snow chances Friday and Saturday. We're back right after this.
We have an update on that breaking news we told you at the top of the show, the rescue efforts after a trench collapse in Buffalo Grove. Fire officials tell us they responded to a report of a person trapped in a hole in the front yard of a home, buried and not breathing. Crews worked for nearly an hour to remove the man before finally getting him out. The victim was taken to the hospital, but we don't know right now what his condition is. We'll keep you updated as we learn more, and we'll have the very latest tonight on our news at 10 o'clock.
And finally tonight, this holiday display in Keller, Texas has a need for speed. Pays tribute to this year's box office hit Top Gun Maverick. A drone company used a home lighting system along with 400 computer-controlled drones to create this display along the house and in the sky. That is really cool. In the air to see. I've never seen one like that.
All the coordination.
Yeah, it was great to have you tonight.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Good to
Always
see you
pleasure
again.
to have you. That's it. As you mentioned, we'll have an update on the news at 10 on that breaking story.
All right, well, so good to see everybody. Good to see you. Have a good night.